So first and foremost, let's talk about this EP, "The Hope of My Soul," man. See the hat? I see the hat, but let's talk about this EP. I know you always have a labor of love of getting certain messages out. What
Yeah.
was like your main mission with this EP?
Two missions. The first, hope. That's my running theme of my everything, my why. I do believe my assignment on earth is to be an amplifier of hope, to help people really understand the definition of hope. We've heard it for so many situations, and it almost kind of just comes out as like this fluffy cliche. Keep hope alive. Don't lose your hope. But hope is powerful. It's changed my life. It saved my life. You can't talk faith lest you talk hope, because faith is a substance of things hoped for. And so, my EP, "The Hope of My Soul," is an expression that is committed to amplifying that, but also to let people hear the diversity and scope of my sound. Because if you listen to the project, you'll hear the familiar major with the falsetto and major with some of the soulful R&B flair, but you also hear, I'm from Texas. I'm from the South, and I have that roots sound, that acoustic, that folk sound. So it's this marriage of all these sounds, this inspiration of the gospel to the folk to the soul. I'm a platinum soul singer. For those that need, further clarification, it's major. My mama's
Right.
favorite hope dealer.
Yes, indeed. Now I know there's some people that are still trying to figure out, like you said, your sound is major, but you can't necessarily classify because you got all these elements that you mix into it. You have the gospel, you have the inspirational, you have the R&B, you have all of that. When you sat down to kind of steer the direction of the artist you wanted to be, why were all of these elements important to you as far as presenting yourself to the world?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I went to performing arts schools all my life. And if anybody is familiar with going to performing arts schools, what it does is it opens you up to a plethora of sounds and sonics and experiences that are going to be a little different from your upbringing. I started in a church, so I couldn't shake that if I tried. I definitely thought that I was going to be a famous gospel singer that kind of evoked all of the different styles of music that I studied, but those doors didn't open to me traditionally. So I said, I'm not going to chase the embrace of the uninterested. I'm going to represent kingdom over here where the people have open arms and the doors are opening for me. And so the promise that I made to God was that I when I cross over, I'm taking the crossover with me. And so I've been able to be in the R&B spaces. That wasn't necessarily intentional. I will
Okay.
say a pop soul, kind of like that Bruno Mars, the John Legend, type space, that more mainstream sound was what I was doing before. But Why I Love You, my song,
Okay.
Why I Love You hits.
Right.
And it was so big that people started automatically saying he's bringing back classic R&B. And I'm like, I am? Like I didn't I didn't know that's what I was doing, but I was just singing from the natural way in which I sing, and singing into the melody lines and the things that I wrote, because I wanted to convey a message of love, hope and
Okay.
love. And
Okay.
it has taken its own, you know, world of its own. And so in this odd way, I'm like this gumbo of sounds. But one thing
Okay.
you can consistently say is that it's soul.
Right.
It's music from my soul. I am a soul singer. Aretha Franklin kind of wrestled with this in her career, and as did Ray Charles, and one of my favorites, Bill Withers. They were these sounds that was like pop culture loved it. but the church said you from where we from, and then you have these other spaces that are like, but you're also speaking to this. And so I just lean into it as my authentic self and show up that way. I'm not beholden to a specific genre, but I am a boy that loved Jesus a whole lot, and you're gonna hear that in everything that I do. God is love, love is God, and so that's what it is at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, I love that. And that's basically the message that we're sharing over here at Worship 945, man. Is like we gotta let the people know, like it's okay to have all of these sounds, as you say. Um, enjoy them. And
Because
it's a
at the
message, it's a message in all of it,
That's right. And at the end of the day, it's your witness that makes a difference. I can have great songs all day long, but if I'm not living the life, it's actually contradictory. It's
I feel it.
ineffective. And so for me, I have committed myself to being light. God has utilized me unconventionally in spaces that would not usually welcome the gospel, but I'm
Right.
able to literally sing the gospel in these spaces. My new song that I think we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Trust and
Yeah,
believe
like
that.
listen, bro. Listen, that new song is it's like urban, mainstream, and gospel are embracing it because it can't be denied. It's a message that everybody needs and wants. Oftentimes, we think that we move according to the limitation of our greatest experience. So if you've only heard gospel a certain way, you'd think that that's the only way gospel can be, shared. But then comes a Kirk Franklin, or then comes a Ty Tribbett, or then
Right.
comes a Mary Mary. And before we call them traditional gospel now, but BB and CC were controversial early on. So
Right.
it,
Right.
it 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 has its many expressions. As long as love is there, it's God.
All right. Listen, yeah, the excitement is popping through the screen. So I'm not even gonna hold you on it. Let's go ahead and discuss this new single. I pray for you. Of course, we're spinning here at the station, and I checked it out, and I think it's like you said, authentically you, but it's out. I felt something different this time
Hmm.
from you with this, and I don't know if it's more sort of instrumentation or just the way you deliver the vocals or what have you. But like, give me the story behind that song.
So I prayed for you was written during the pandemic, the start of the pandemic when we were all confined to our homes, not knowing what was next. Our faith was tested big, but I wanted to write a song that encouraged the hearts of many. Now, at the moment, I wasn't able to release new music because the labels and everything was shut down. But I had this song and I was just like, oh my gosh, when it comes out, this song is a message that is timeless because there's always an urgency where our faith is being tested. There's always circumstance where we are challenged to hold high our hope. And so I prayed for you was that love letter to the ones I love and to the heart of this world to let them know we're not forgotten and that I've spoken to the Lord on your behalf. Listen, if you're stuck in your tears and the despair of your circumstance, that is okay. Because I am a believer that understands and has been the witness to the power of God moving on our behalf, so long as you trust Him and allow Him to do it. And prayer is a powerful communication avenue that God has given every single believer. It gets right to his heart and his hand. And so I prayed for you. It's my new hope anthem, and I'm loving that folks are enjoying it. Yes, it has a little of that rootsy country twang to it, but it's
Mhm.
mountain music. It's mountaintop music. This is that music Dr. Kane would have sang on the mountaintop. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm an amplifier of hope, man. So I want us to move in this thing, to never lose our our truth and understanding that if he did it before, he can do it again.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Now we you got a few tracks on this EP. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you released it and then you re-released it with additional songs,
With
right?
some, yeah, I re-released it with some different takes on
Gotcha.
the different songs as a
Okay.
deluxe. That's what you do. That's a little secret for artists that listen. If they didn't listen the first time, put a
Let's get them back
deluxe on that.
again.
Just get them again. Because bro, there is so much music out there.
It really is. It really
Everybody and their
is.
grandmama is an artist, and and no knock to it. But when you oversaturate the space, you can't take it personal that somebody didn't hear what you delivered the first time. Keep
Right.
coming back stronger
Keep
and
coming
better.
back.
And so we decided to release I Prayed for You um with as my new single at the end of last year. And bro, in the middle of the political unrest,
Hmm.
not knowing where our country would be going next, literally at the top of next week, we have a new president, and that's scary for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
But never have I seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seeds begging for bread.
Hmm.
I prayed for you. It is signed, sealed, and delivered. We gonna be all
Yeah.
right. We
Yeah,
gonna
we're
be
gonna
all
be all
right.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as we're discussing that, let's discuss this track, "Hold My Hand." That was one of the standouts for
Oh, you
me.
really did homework. Stop playing
Bro,
with them.
I don't play with the people. I'm telling you. So
Bruh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
love
No,
it.
I was checking it out and just again grooving, vibing, listening. And "Hold My Hand" was a standout for me. But it
I
sounded
love that one.
like you said. I guess you said your testimonies or whatever. It feels like a personal testimony in a sense. But tell me a little bit about how that record came about.
It's music. It's message that I want people to understand that this life was never meant to be done alone. We can have lonely moments, but you're never alone. Look out and seek that which can help to advance you. There's a an African proverb that says, "You, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together." And I'm always encouraging people to understand the power of togetherness. It's a song like my music can have three different conversations.
Okay.
One with a conversation, one with yourself, one with the person you love, and one with you and the creator. And so the exchange is very clear because it also is a message that I want people to know that the hand of God is always stretched out and available for us to grab hold to. Hold to his hand, God's unchanging hand, as I walk through the valleys and shadows of life, not
Mm-hmm.
just death, but of
Gotcha.
life. Won't you hold my hand? And I call that my soul play. It's like soulful Coldplay. You know what I mean? It's ethereal, anthemic. I love that song a whole lot. And man, it actually makes me feel good that you actually took time to check that one out because that's one of my
Oh, you
favorites.
listen. This is what I do. This is what we do around here. Now, I do have
That's why you get paid to do what you do,
this
huh?
that part, but I'm a music lover first and foremost. Like I've been raised on music, and the music is an everyday part of me. And I think me listening and enjoying the music and the way I absorb it is the gift for me. Because if I could sing, I would be on everybody's nerves right now. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm just gonna take a listen to it, and then we're gonna discuss it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about "This Is Why I Love You." I know that was a track that we've played pretty heavy here at the station.
Y'all
Um,
have?
yes, we've got about, let me think, about, I know at least four off top that I can think of, but I know that was one of them. We played it pretty heavy. My girl ML6 does not play when it comes to this
Shout
adding
out to ML6. Tell her thank you. Oh man.
yeah. So "This Is Why I Love You." I do want to know the little backstory behind that, because it seems like all of your records are rooted in love, one side or the other of love, but it just depends on how you want to deliver the message, their particular message of the
So
base of love. So
so
tell me a little
this
bit
is
about this song.
so this is the truth. And you're asking all of the right questions that I always want the clarity to be out there. I don't think any love is to be experienced absent of the God love that is agape. I think if there is a healthy inclusion of God love, if that's the foundation of your love, it's a love that will last. because God love is patient. It is kind. It keeps no record of wrong. It endures. It suffers. Um it triumphs. And I want people to be mindful that that is the running thread in everything that I'm going to sing and speak about. Why I Love You was a love letter I wrote to God, and love wrote me back to help people understand how to do this love thing on earth as it is in heaven. We often get into these other relationships, these romantic relationships, thinking that the principles of love need to be different. No, the principles should never change. Some of the activity changes because there's levels of intimacy that
Right.
certain relationships require, but the
Hmm.
principles should all be established and reference agape love. And
Hmm.
so that's literally my intention. I wanted to give people a love song that can transcend any and every relationship. So I knew that there would be mothers singing this to their children, and children singing it to their grandparents, or fathers and daughters, or daughters and mothers, and boos and bookies,
Right.
and
Right.
weddings and funerals and baby showers. I literally saw all that. I didn't know it was going to be to this magnitude now.
Right.
Um, I am honored. I am honored that this song, which is Why I Love You, that's the title.
Okay.
All
Well, I
my
love you.
all my all my cousins rename it This Is Why I Love You, but that's fine as long
Okay.
as you download and stream it. You still gonna make sure your brother Major can get all of the extra oxtails that he won't,
That
but
part.
but Why I Love You has taken me on a journey, man, and it is wild to see even churches playing it. When I hear about worship teams singing it and pastors preaching on it, as much as people are getting married to it,
Hmm.
it is wild to me. I
Hmm.
am not shocked, but I am amazed at how great God is in keeping his promise that, Major, if you don't give up, I promise you, you will see that it was worth it.
I love that. Now, of course, we're doing the independent road here. Uh, four, four projects. 4 plus. I'm
Say
gonna
it
say
one
four
more
plus.
time. Explain to the people what independent.
Independent. Independent. He's doing this all on his own. Let me tell you.
Jesus Cristo.
Patience. I love it for real. But my question is, because I've noticed you are taking the page from the old school book. It's a lot of grassroots movement for you.
Bruh,
It's a lot of grassroots movement. But
bruh.
and every time I've seen you, I've seen again what you call your authentic self, from what I perceive to be your authentic self. But I
Yes,
am
yes.
curious because a lot of people when they do, I'm not gonna say total line, but when they dip in both gospel and R&B and all this stuff, a lot of personal um characteristics, I guess so to say, or traits or whatever come into play. Like they want to question you just to prove that you're worthy to be singing God's word or whatever. But
Listen,
I've never seen you really switch up, but I am curious to know, has there ever been any personal attacks come your way on your just credibility or personality? Like, is he putting on? Is this really him? Like,
bruh, you have, as many times as you've seen me, I've been consistently Major. My
correct.
mama named me Major.
Uh-huh.
People think I'm being brilliant by calling myself Major, but my mama named me that. Her prayer was that I would make a major impact on the world. I was a pregnancy that was a tough one for her. She felt she was letting God down and her community down by having a child out of wedlock, but I was the pregnancy that led her to her closer walk with God. And so I can't escape what is on my life.
Right.
I have been Major from the start and to the now, and it is wild because that does shock a lot of people, because there are a lot of people that are like, "Oh, that's just what I do for the career, and this is really
Right.
me." But I am legit Major. Like, you will find this everywhere I go. Now, it presents a challenge because I'm a people's person. I connect with some of everybody, and sometimes I'm a little too available to people to where they just saw me on TV. Maybe they saw me on the TV show Star, or they saw me in this movie, or they heard my music or saw me on the Soul Train Awards, and they can touch me. And
Right.
sometimes I have to realize I can't be as available because at the
Hmm.
end of the day, this is a very special work that I do,
Hmm.
that is an assignment, and I need to make myself, we all have to steward our generosity.
Right.
I'm an empath. So I feel people, the weight of people's situation. I hurt when they hurt. I'm in Los Angeles right now. And
Hmm.
we just went through a tremendous devastation with these LA wildfires that they're just now kind of taming.
Uh-huh.
And my heart is heavy.
Right.
My heart is heavy. And yes, I'm out there helping people, figuring out what I can do next. It's not just me behind the keyboard doing whatever. I have an event today to go to. I'm going to be flying to Boston tomorrow for an MLK scholarship thing. I'm a people's person. This is major. I won't say that I'm perfect ever. I am not perfect by any means. Um, I have I'm very sensitive as much as I am very bold and courageous.
Right.
Um I sometimes get offended when people say the wrong thing to me,
Right.
or talk to me crazy. Um I have to work on my patience. I
Hmm.
have to work on, trusting that God is a promise keeper, and that the promise doesn't always have to look like the way I expected. So I have to endure that. I am very blunt,
Hmm.
sometimes too blunt,
Right.
where I tell people exactly how I feel. But I think that's also what makes me special. But it makes me human. I have a song called Honest that got me my first ever Grammy nomination. And it's a song
Mm.
that is literally about being true to you.
Hmm.
That's what God can only use and will only use. He's not
Right.
using none of the fake stuff. And I think
Yeah.
that's why my life is so special, because I'm able to step into every realm as major
Hmm.
unapologetically. The only clever part is I capitalize every letter and put a period after it, because I mean that thing, and it
Cause he
helps you
mean it.
to Google me faster. Yeah, you know
I
what I
mean,
mean. You
and he
heard?
mean it. I feel it. Now, you mentioned the Grammy nomination. I know you've had Soul Train nomination, all that stuff. NAACP Image Award nominations. I think you got one
Stop
for
playing with them.
right. Okay, so you
Stop
got one,
playing
but
with them, Doc. Stop
and this
playing
is
with them.
this is all independent, friends. This is all independent. I know we don't do it for the accolades per se, but what's the most rewarding thing
I
for
want to
you?
win. I want to win.
We want to win, but what's the most important thing for you when as an independent artist
Well,
and as major, like when
well,
you do get these this notoriety, so to speak, like somebody recognizes you, what's the most rewarding part about that for you?
when people tell me how my music has shifted their life, when people tell me how my message made a difference, how my journey has inspired them and their journey, that hits me deep, bro.
Hmm.
Because I have been at this thing for a long time. And what it does is it reminds me that the work that I've done, big or small, private or public, is not in vain. Um, I would be remiss if I did not honor the team that I have. I have a team right now that I pay out of my own pocket to help support me, but it is an independent journey right now. I have been signed to independent labels, but independent labels versus major labels are dramatically different budgets and dramatically different infrastructure to help you move forward. But in this season, it is major funding it all, and it is tough. But moments like last Tuesday,
Hmm.
hearing my name called for outstanding a gospel Christian song, for a song that has literally been out for just two. Well, it's been out, but it was my new single for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Is a mighty reward. This is my ninth nomination for the
Okay.
Image Awards. I've been nominated for Best New Artist, for guest performance in a TV show, my work on Star, for both music and acting. But it hits special when gospel recognizes me because this is where it all started. And they didn't open the doors to me before. But God
Gotcha.
said, let me show you the route. I'm gonna lead you. And they won't
Gotcha.
have any other choice but to recognize the work that I'm doing through you. And so I
Love
say,
it.
yes, God, here am I. And if everybody listening, y'all can
Go
vote.
vote. Go
Go
vote.
vote right
Go
now.
vote.
NAACP imageawards.net. Vote for your brother Major, an outstanding gospel Christian song. I'm up against some heavy hitters, but I think I prayed for you as something special.
Yes, you're a heavy hitter too, so don't doubt that. So we're gonna get
Thank you,
that win, all
broski.
right?
Thank you, broski.
Yes, sir. Well, Major, I do appreciate your time, man. Once again, The Hope of My Soul is out, the deluxe version. We got this NAACP Image Award nomination. We want you guys to go out and vote for that. We want you to stream these plenty of all the songs. Stream it up. Stream it up.
Thank you. Thank you. It's
Stream it
really
up.
good, y'all. It's really good music. Your bro has put in work, man. I am grateful, man. You're really dope, RoJay.
I
Like
do what I can.
you're really, really dope. Thank you so much for this time. Thank y'all for amplifying my music and playing it. It would be beautiful if you can play it even more. Um,
We
so,
got you.
so
We
thank
got you.
you.
We
Thank you,
take care of
bro.
the home team, so no
Yes,
problem at
indeed.
all. And
Yeah.
you know what to do. Just holler at me when you need me. And I'm
Yeah.
sure I see you out here smiling and making the streets happy
We got to do
at some
something in
point.
Huntsville. We got to do something in Huntsville. So we got to figure out what that is and can be. Maybe by this time in the summer, we got to do something, bro. Let's make it happen. Hit Uncle G and let's make it happen.
We're gonna talk about it for sure. All right, man. Well, you have a good one, and I'll touch base with you.
Yes, indeed, King. God bless you.
Yes, sir.